Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger and my friends. We love video games around here, right? We love sick moments in video games. Moments that just get you excited, moments that make you cheer. Just something you can look at, and you can look at it and go unequivocally, yo, that is sick. And fighting games as a genre have some of the sickest moments in gaming history. Something that'll just get you really riled up, just rouse the heart to see. You look at it and you just have to be undeniably impressed because that was sick. But what happens when games get too sick? Hey, Red Dead Redemption 2, I love that game. Arthur Morgan, hell of a character. You know, really cool plot, really just fun times. And Arthur, are you okay, Arthur? What's wrong? Arthur, you're scaring me. Please stop. So yeah, lots of video game characters have a lot of fun traits. Hey, look at me. I'm a pro wrestler. Hey, look at me. I'm spooky and sexy. Hey, look at me. I sell cryptocurrency to undeveloped third world nations. Something to give them a little bit more of an edge. Something to help you root for the character and whatever you may be looking for. But what if one of the character traits is, I'm sick and dying? There ain't much to root for there. It's just kinda weird and sad. Not necessarily a bad thing for a character, you can tell a good story that way, but for a fighting game character, it's just odd. Like say for modern fighting games, Mileena and Baraka from Mortal Kombat. They were just sort of evil mutants, right? Mileena specifically was a clone with DNA, but regardless. And they changed how Tarkat works. Tarkat is now an illness, and usually a fatal illness. And on top of Tarkat just being a sickness, right? People who have Tarkat, they're shunned, they're ostracized, they're treated just poorly. Mileena, she didn't really need the help, but for someone like Baraka, this added a lot of depth to his character. This gave him a lot more nuance. Take a game like Virtua Fighter, a character like Liu Chan. He grew up with the series, he grew old with the series. He did not have the gray hairs back in VF1. But back in VF1, he didn't have the blood red in his eyes. Liu Chan isn't feeling so good. It's kind of a problem. Like, even in his idle stance, he's not feeling good. He'll just randomly start coughing into his hand mid-match. And considering that new Virtua Fighter game, there's a time skip attached to it. Lau is kind of on death's door in Virtua Fighter 5. I don't know if he's going to make it to Virtua Fighter 6. But let's get to the character we're going to talk about for this video here. The one who put sickness in video games on the map. Long before Arthur Morgan was looking for your sympathy, we had the TBOG, Ukyo Tachibana. So let's go back in time to 1993 and a little title called Samurai Shodown. Yes, a game like Street Fighter was a bigger deal, but Samurai Shodown, it made its mark. It was a big deal in the 90s. Lots of seminal fighting game legends came out of Samurai Shodown. Like say Genan, you might not have heard of him specifically, but you might have heard one of his ancestors. Ganan's last name is Shiranui. Yeah, that Shiranui. Now, just so you know, Mai did come first. It's more of an Easter egg than anything, but fun fact. But yeah, we're talking about Ukyo Tachibana. So he's got a lot of traits to him. You can just tell out of the gate here, you know, blue hair, pretty boy, right? And the games have always been dead serious about the pretty boy aspect. He's got a lot, and I mean a lot of fans. His female following will just kind of chase him to the ends of the earth. No matter where he goes, that's where they will be. No matter the game, he's just plain old popular with the ladies. Good looking, long hair, soft spoken. He's a bit of a poet. You're going to see that in a lot of his win quotes. You know, I guess there's a lot to like there, except for the one thing. He's dying. He's had tuberculosis ever since the very first game in the franchise.
Tachibana Ukyo!
And I remember when I was younger and I was playing these games, I was wondering, what's going on? Why is he coughing? Why is he coughing up blood? Like, didn't I just win the match? My character should be jumping up and down and being happy. And instead of, jumping up and down and being happy, he's sick. Like, he's not doing good. And rest assured, if you did play Red Dead Redemption 2, the cure for tuberculosis is a fairly modern invention. Arthur Morgan didn't have it, and in samurai times in medieval Japan, there certainly was no help for tuberculosis. So when I was younger, this really messed with my head, because he has Iaido. Like the super cool guy thing, where you only fight with your samurai sword in the sheath until you pull it out for the attack, then you put it right back. Like, he's that character. He's the first character in fighting games, in the history of fighting games, to fight that way. That's peak cool guy stuff. There's been lots of characters since then, and yes, by the way, that is Baiken. The last entry in the Samurai Shodown series had some very interesting choices and guest characters, and to be frank, she is a samurai after all, so she is a pretty good fit. But everything about his moveset just kind of reeks cool. Like, he doesn't even face you, right? On top of always fighting with a sword in the sheath, like, you're not even worth him facing you directly. And then there's everything with the apples. What are the apples about? So in a display of skill, he can slice through the apples mid-air, right? Part of his moveset is he'll toss an apple real quick and then just do a lot of slashes in a row. And sometimes, depending on the game, he can also fake the apple toss, making you think the move is coming. And correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but at least to my recollection going back in the day, he's got to be like the progenitor of the instant air technique. Tsubame Gaishi is an air-only move, but even going back all the way to Samurai Shodown 1, if you had the timing down, you could do it as low to the ground as possible. Although in older games it's a projectile, in modern games it's an overhead. It's what you would call the Tiger Knee technique, except back in those days, Tiger Knee was just a move for Sagat. Like, it wasn't a technique yet. But yeah, Ukyo was always kind of weirdly tragic and kind of a bummer to play back in the day. You do your cool guy stuff, sure, but he's sick, he's dying. Even his story, he has his eyes set on one girl and one girl only, love of his life, Kei. Except, he knows he's dying. He's not gonna burden her with like trying to start a relationship because he's not gonna live long enough to see it out. So he's always really nice to her, always does good things for her, but like that's kind of as far as it goes in the majority of the games. And in a good amount of the endings, they just imply Ukyo dies off screen. Like, no matter what, he's just sort of fated to die, and he's nothing but a perfect gentleman, a poet, just a nice guy all around. There's a lot of villains in Samurai Shodown, even like the hero, Haomaru. Haomaru's kind of a jerk. He's not very, heroic material. So in Samurai Shodown, what's the reward for being a nice guy in a class act? You die at 25 of tuberculosis. Now, rest assured, this is fighting games. Regardless of the plot line, he's in basically just about every game. And in games even where he's supposed to be dead, they can bring him back to life in like non-canon things. And in the most recent Samurai Shodown entry, that game's actually a bit of a prequel. So that's why he's alive and well there. Like, realistically, you almost never replace a fighting game character when they're popular, especially if they have some sort of death clause attached to them. You sort of work your way around it. Or you just make a younger, sexier version of the character and give him that moveset. But Ukyo already is the younger, sexier version of himself. So no replacements are needed. But yeah, I figure a little bit of a character highlight reel here. A little bit of a trip down memory lane for a classic fighting game franchise. Ukyo was a character when I was younger. He always just sort of weirdly bummed me out. Like, I liked the character a lot, but then I see him cough and like, I'm no longer comfortable anymore. Like, he does all sorts of really cool guy moves, but like, I don't want to win and then see you get sick. That just don't make me feel right. But then again, that's part of the reason why he's an effective character. That's why he's memorable over the years, because he has a very weird and kind of effed up character trait in that he's dying. You can very fairly argue that's not a positive character trait, but it's a memorable one in the context, especially for a fighting game where usually the most heavily of all positives of a character are highlighted. The biggest muscles, the biggest boobs for a lady, like anything, big physical heroic traits. And Ukyo is a sad, sensitive, dying boy. And I think the ladies sort of dig that. That's why he has an army of fangirls chase him around the world. As messed up as it is. So, if you never knew about Samurai Shodown and Ukyo Tachibana, now you know. And if you already did, well, hope you enjoyed the trip down memory lane. I always like highlighting just random fighting game characters and their lore, because I think the lore and story of fighting game characters is as important as anything else in a fighting game. But that all said, we're at the end of the video. So, thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some fighting games.
Yeah.